Alright guys, so today we're going to be going, first off, what's up out there. Everybody's kind of watching these videos. I know if you're in the channel here for car related stuff, it's coming too, so keep that in mind. We got, dropped one of the cars off a dyno. Don't know if you guys come here for that or not, but today's video is going to be on trucking again. That's what I do for a living, it seems like. So this video here is why to lease on, because I have some people ask me all the time. I got a driver who is leased on, and why would he want to lease on? Why does he not want his own authority? And there's a lot of reasons, and a lot of them make sense, and I wouldn't be where I'm at right now if I could have leased on when I got into it. One of the guys I was going to start with and lease on to just wouldn't do it with me because I had no experience, no license, no nothing. So I had a truck, I was going to get my license, but it just would have ruined his insurance rates. So that's one of the highlights of why you lease on and why you don't lease on. Or why you don't let people lease on that don't have the experience. So one of the biggest things with leasing on is, if you've never been in the business before, you'll find out very quickly that when you're new to trucking, everybody knows you're new. And that's kind of how they take advantage of you. You know, when you have your MC number, things have changed a little bit this year, but they still know when you're new. They can look you up. We got an MC number, motor carrier number, and when they call up, they'll say, "What's your MC number?" Call them by load. "What's your MC number?" And they give them the MC number. In the beginning, your beginning digits of your MC number tell you how old you are. They're not specific to a date, but they know the higher the number, the newer you are. And all the brokers keep track of that. They kind of know, okay, we're at the 10,000 mark or whatever, 100,000 mark. Right now I think it was 6 digits, and I think they just revamped it. So that's how they know on the phone. They know it instantly. I mean, they know as soon as you say the MC number, they're like, this guy's about a year old. And then you go on the road, look at other people's trucks, you'll see on the side MC number, and you can kind of tell how long that business has been in. If it's a 5-digit, 5 is pretty new. If it's let's see, 3 or 4, so you probably won't see a 3 or 4 digit. You'll probably see a 4-digit. That's pretty old, It just kind of goes because they're giving out an order. That's how that works, and so they know, and they're going to take advantage of you. The brokers will take advantage of that. They'll tell you that, well, we just don't have the money in it. Then they know that you're new enough. You're probably going to bite on something. And they don't care if you don't, because the risk on their end is a lot higher. They're looking at that you're new, you might have the crappy equipment. Alright, we're back at it. I had a phone call there I had to get, and that's just what happens in this business all the time. Doing this video during the day instead of at night. But back at it, you're new to trucking, the MC number, they're going to know you're old, they're going to take advantage of you. So there's one reason why you want to lease on to an older company that has a good safety record, is when they run all that, you get better loads, make more money, easier money. They call you up, they can look at your record, say you've been hauling for, say, TQL, been hauling for them, and your average is like $3 a mile. That guy knows when you say, I'll do it for $3.25 a mile, or I'll do it for X amount of money. He can look it up and say, well, this guy ain't BSing. That's what he's going to do it for. He ain't pulled nothing cheaper than that before. So they're going to work on that rate with you. Instead of, if you're new, they're going to try to just keep you down. Their job is to keep you as low as they can at the beginning. That way they have an average, and they kind of know when you call up and talk to any of those brokers at a big business, they type in your MC number, it pulls up all the loads that you've hauled before, and they can see what you hauled it for per mile. And they're going to figure out what they can get you on average to work for. So if you have a business that's doing really good, your buddy's doing really good or whatever, you want to lease onto them, because when you negotiate, you're going to be using his experience and his leverage that he's made to make you money, right? Now, if you start your own business, it's really hard, but you gotta put it to the grindstone. You gotta get those rates up. You gotta get everything. You gotta tell them, I'm not doing that cheap stuff. I'll park the truck. All those things you guys probably already know. Looking to be an owner operator, you gotta be kind of rough. The other big thing too is gonna be insurance cost. So insurance costs when you start out, being a new trucking company, is going to be higher. I think mine was roughly about $4,000 more my first year. Same equipment, same everything. First year, about $4,000 more a year. And that's because you have no rating. You have no, they don't know how you're going to react. So they're going to take the risk, they're going to pay. Another thing too is finding insurance companies, because a lot of insurance companies won't start with a new company. So I had to go to Progressive first year, and that's because everybody else I called said, we just don't do it. You know, we're not going to take the risk. Because it is a lot of risk. I mean, big trucks getting in accidents cost a lot of money to people. So keep that in mind. And my guy that's leased on me, we figured it out. My percentage, I do 5% to 7% based on what we're doing. And then if I book loads, it's an extra 5% on top of whatever our first percentage is. Which I don't do that often because I don't like booking loads for somebody else. It's just it don't work out. So on the insurance cost, just the money I'm getting off of him is what he saves in insurance. So it's really costing him nothing. He's not having all the headache. He's getting better loads. You know, not including the better loads, he's making more money being leased on to me than if he had his own authority. And that's at the beginning, that's how it's going to work. If you have, let's see, if you had your own authority, long term is probably better if you can do it right. You're going to get audited within the first year. First year, 1 year audit. You're gonna bring your paperwork to them, or they're gonna come out to your office and they're gonna look everything over and make sure you're doing your drug testing right, make sure you're doing your maintenance right, make sure you got a vehicle history log, make sure an accident registry. They're gonna check all that stuff. Make sure you got everything, all your I's dotted, T's crossed, all that. It's about an hour-long interview. They ask, what's this? Where's this? Where's this? You pull it out of your file. They look at it. They check it off a list. It's not that difficult. They're not real strict. They're going to check your logbook. They're going to pick 1 month per driver randomly, go through it, and if it passes, you're good in the logbook. If it don't, they're going to go through all your logbooks. And they're not really going to give you a ticket during that time, but they're definitely going to put notes in there, and you're going to be rechecked if you fail. If you fail, they'll shut you down for a little while, but if you are kind of questionable, they put notes in, they're going to come revisit you. That's for sure. So that's a headache. You just buy a truck, you're looking at wanting to hit the road, you don't want to deal with all that. You got to be home, do the interview, you got all the paperwork to sign up with. I mean, there's a lot to it, trust me. So we got that. Touching base with safety rating. So safety rating. I mean, you ain't got one when you start out. You work for somebody else, you got a safety rating. You want to do pre-pass. Bypass the way stations if you ain't too heavy and you get to roll on the highway. All my trucks got those. It saves you money. If you're new, you won't get the green light. You're going to have to get a couple inspections to make sure everything's good. And your safety rating starts out at 100, which sounds great. My understanding, it starts out at 100, which sounds great, but it's based on how many inspections you got. So if you have one and you fail, your safety rating drops a lot. And the only way to, so if you have one and you fail, it's going to go down a lot. Only way to get it back up is to get another inspection. There's nothing else you can do. So you're hoping to get an inspection if you have any problems. So if you are new and you are going to start your own authority, make sure you follow all the rules at the beginning, because it's the steepest penalties are always at the beginning of anything. Learning curve steep. I have no issues. I make sure all my equipment's good to go. Make sure all my drivers are following the rules. But cost. So in order to get your own authority, at the beginning, it's gonna cost you. I used the company and the filing and all that stuff. I think it was about $500, which ain't bad. If you're gonna buy a truck, I hope you got $500. But the kicker is you're gonna have to have insurance, which is roughly $1,000 or so a month before you can apply for it. And with that, once you apply, it takes 2 weeks. It goes to Congress. They put it on a ballot or whatever, and anybody in the United States can protest your authority if you've had issues in the past. That gives them time to come up with, and saying, hey, this guy's already, screwed me in the past, whatever. And so 2 weeks before they activate it, you got to have insurance during those 2 weeks. So right there's another $500 if you're paying $1,000 a month, right? So $1,000 gone. I mean, just gone before you can even haul your first load. During those 2 weeks, you can't do nothing. You're sitting at the house, you're just waiting on somebody to complain. So $1,000 out of your pocket before you even get anything. And it's kind of, it's a little expensive when you're first starting out with that. A little bit hard to swallow. Because by the time you get rolling, and then you get your first paycheck, it kind of ends up being a little while. So leasing on has its benefits for sure. Startup cost. I mean, the startup costs of a trucking company are expensive. You know, you got to have all your computer stuff, your printers, your load boards, your equipment. You know, truck, trailer, or just truck doing power only. You know, all that stuff does cost a lot, and it costs, you know, you have to get all of it if you're doing your own authority. Now, if you lease on with somebody, you ain't got to worry about the computer usually, or the printer, the office stuff, the filing cabinets, all the paperwork you're going to be doing. All that stuff's handled. So the startup costs, you know, and like I said, I just touched base with the authority. That's part of the startup costs. All that stuff adds up, you know. Keep that in mind. Most people, when you lease on, help you out with breakdowns. Yeah. So I typically try to stay out of that, but I end up getting into it anyways. When you have a driver that's leased on with you that has some issues, usually you have to, you know, you can't just let them starve. You can't just let their truck sit out there because you're making money with it too. Not a whole lot, but you are. And, you know, most time you get a connection with your lease operators, and, you know, you talk to them, well, they're like, you know, they're what you do every day. So you get a connection with them, they're having issues, you're going to end up helping them out. You know, when times are tough and they need a little bit of help, that's what most people do. You're leased on, you kind of goes hand in hand with, hey man, I need a tire or whatever, I really got the money till Friday. Well, pick you up a tire, man. We got to get this thing rolling. Not everybody does that, and I wouldn't say I would do it with everybody I know. But majority of the time, it's a business decision that has to be made. Especially at the beginning. Even a lease operator at the beginning is always tight. Nobody has enough money to be free and clear, unless you just, you know, you got a lot of money. But most people are getting into their own business are doing it to make more money. So they usually don't have a whole lot. And then things just suck it up. I mean, it don't take but one breakdown to take your whole entire reserve of money and be gone. I mean, that's just how it works. Buying used equipment, you find really quick, stuff is expensive. So, that's that. Let's see here. Last one to touch base on is going to be time. Time is money. I mean, time is money. So that's the bottom line. When you're leased on, there's a lot more, you know, I do a lot of stuff for my lease operators, help them out in the road. You know, if I'm at the office or I'm somewhere I got time, they need something done, need a carrier packet filled out, need a bill done, you know, pay this, do this, I'll step in and do it. It's not a big deal. I try not to do it because I want to have them, you know, do as much as they can so they understand what's behind everything. And that way, if something goes wrong, I'm not the one they're mad at, you know. Well, so-and-so hasn't paid me. I didn't bill. What'd you do wrong? Well, you didn't do nothing. You know, a lot of times I didn't do nothing wrong. It's just they hadn't paid me. Sometimes it might be a number off or dress off or whatever. They can't get mad at me. You know, they can't be mad. So that's one thing I do with that. But time-wise, there's a lot of things that go behind the scenes. You know, checking over safety records, checking over your logbook, checking over paperwork, making sure everybody's got their DOT inspection, their IFTA stickers are coming in this year, IFTA's done and turned in by the end of the month. You know, all those little things behind the scenes that they're just making a phone call usually. Now some guys help out a lot, don't get me wrong, but some guys just make the phone call, here's my numbers, here we go, and then some guys do it all. You know, so there's a lot of little things I do here in the office that make a big difference. But that's pretty much it. You know, if you have any questions, put them in the comments. Always hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, helps me out a lot. Any more videos you want me to touch base on, let me know. More than happy to make them. Spread the knowledge that I got from doing this the hard way. So, as always, I'll see you in the next video.